we're pivoting as well because we've realised, 650,000 visitors to the site a month. Some of them now are wanting more about hire, so we're pivoting the site.
A lot of those leads that are coming through from my dealers, heaps of them. And there's a lot of dealers that have decided to do it.
You've got to be able to cover your area really well, because otherwise you're losing market share to someone who's just beside your area if they're actually advertising and marketing really well.
G'day Steel Pushers, good to have you back. Today we've got one hell of a topic to talk about, and I'm sure it's something you guys have all thought about over the last 8 months, or especially the last 3 or 4 months, and it's the old question at the moment from a lot of buyers: is to buy or not to buy, and is hire the answer, Krebsy?
Wow, welcome back all you Steel Pushers. Yeah, there's a bit of movement and a bit of change in the marketplace, I'd suggest, and good old Uncle COVID came along and knocked everyone around for the year. So we've got some interesting challenges, with some of the Steel Pushers out there who are a bit sort of restricted in the stock that they've been getting through from their manufacturers. There's been some bits and pieces going on at the wharf, so machinery's not flowing like it was.
No.
So it brings other challenges to the market. But for the smart ones who grab hold of these opportunities at the moment, because it's either a problem or an opportunity, isn't it?
Yeah.
So the opportunity comes, you ain't got the stock, well, you hold on to the stock and then do you hire it out? So
yeah, there's a lot of dealers that I've been speaking to in the last few months. They've come up with some really clever solutions on how to manage cash flow, how to manage any stock issues they might be having. That's what we wanted to talk about today. See if anything that we come up in discussion helps you guys out there, fantastic. And also everyone that is watching, remember, hit that like button and hit the subscribe button as well, and share across your socials. We love getting as much information out to the market and to all you Steel Pushers out there to help as we can. So we've already touched on it. We might as well start there. Like stock. I know, talking to the dealers I look after, for a large chunk of them, stock's a massive, massive issue at the moment. And it's not so much that it's that they can't get it. It's more that it's taking forever to get their hands on. Shipping issues, or the fact that there's very limited used stock out there at the moment seems to be a big deal. What have you, from when you've been talking to some of the owners out there and about your world and your side of the thing, what are you seeing?
There's businesses out there at the moment that are pivoting, because you can't just sit on your hands, can you? So I think the world has changed a lot more as well, where we've become a bit of a service-based creatures, aren't we? And things like Uber and Airbnb and all these other systems that have come into the world.
Immediate solution and immediate gratification.
Yeah, but we're also able to, go and hire some big nice house, up in Maroochydore there or something like that, where we've got that opportunity to be able to do that now. So it comes back to, how does this relate to, you Steel Pushers out there? It's the machinery has this opportunity to hire it out, and it's always been there, but we're seeing it more on the site as well.
Yeah.
So, from our end of being able to see all the inquiries, the 10,000 plus inquiries that go through a month, we're seeing in the data, will you hire this out?
Yeah.
There's
a lot of those leads that are coming through from my dealers, heaps of them. And there's a lot of dealers that have decided to do it. And it's picking that just 2 machines, because there's so much involved. I mean, just logistics alone, whether you're doing it wet and dry hire, the insurance on hire gear is vastly different to anything you're selling. But it seems to be a really solid idea for cash flow. I mean, in the comments, tell me if I'm wrong, go nuts, but it seems like a pretty clever idea to manage cash flow.
Yeah, and in a lot of businesses, I mean, all our, air compressor, forklifts, all the access guys, I mean, that's the whole world is higher, isn't it? But we're starting to see it go into like dust extractors and, hiring out portable dust extractors and bits and pieces, where maybe that would have been a sale, 6-8 months ago, whereas now people, bit of uncertainty in the world, would they want to commit to buying that machinery, or are they just sort of going, well, hang on, we might hire it out for 4 months or 3 months and then see how the next sort of part of the year pans out and how next year starts. So we're pivoting as well, because we've realised, our 650,000 visitors to the site a month, some of them now are wanting more about hire. So we're pivoting the site. So we've just opening it up where you can put all your stock numbers and what you can hire and how long for, and the wet and dry and everything else that comes with it. So that's because we've got to stay on our game. We've got to be user friendly and help the market.
Well, it's you nailed it right at the start. The market's totally evolved since COVID. It's amazing to me, actually, how fast it's happened. Like what we've seen, and just from the data, and talking to the dealers and talking to you guys out there, talking to the buyers, is just that dramatic shift in how business is done that would normally take decades is taken 8 months.
It's cool. It's exciting. I like it.
It's
like,
impressive.
Let's bloody speed the world up a bit, because it's not going fast enough, is it?
But there's a lot of dealers though that are really struggling with it. There's heaps that are still so stuck in the mud. They whether it's through refusal, whether it's through just, no, I've done things the way I've done things, or whether it's just an outright, no, I don't know any better, or the old adage is, I don't understand it, therefore it terrifies me. There's still a lot of guys out there that aren't doing it, and they're coming up with some really unique solutions as well. The whole rep on the road thing's done, so they've reverted to even just mass email rather than marketplace. And that's their idea of, okay, I'll go digital. Right? You're close, you're nearly there, but it's really interesting to see how everybody's handled it. But I think probably the most interesting so far is what we're talking about now. It's that converting a machine you would normally sell into something you hang on to for hire. And in doing that as well, I think you mentioned it the other day to me, was there's the idea of selling a hire machine at half of its hire cycle, rather than wait until it's thrashed before you're selling it. We're seeing a lot of hire dealers selling stuff a hell of a lot earlier.
Yeah, well, there's big, cash flow benefits in that, and there's getting a higher price for your machinery because you're selling it earlier. So you buy very well, because you go to the brands and buy a fleet of machines. You can twist their arms a bit and get a decent price for it. So if you've bought well, and then in the position to be able to have it on hire while you're selling it, and you sell it at the 2-year mark, you're getting a far higher price, and you can come out of it earlier and then revolve your stock around. There's quite a few smart guys around the country who are doing this, and they're probably cringing as I say it, because it's just giving all the other guys an idea. But that's a way of really, using a system to make more profit out of each machine, effectively.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can even throw out the idea that if you're doing that, while you've got a machine out for hire, but you're still taking sale inquiries and you're just looking for that right price to sell it at, you could at the same time have already placed those orders for your next lot of gear that, due to shipping times at the moment, which are ridiculous, and shipping costs. I was only speaking to good old Steve Clements from Australian Power. His shipping costs have doubled.
Really?
Yeah. They've doubled the price on shipping costs for the gear that he's bringing in, and the time it's taking is huge as well, due to the fact that they've got to follow coronavirus protocols, and it's just nuts what's happening out there in the market for getting gear into the country. But when you've got clever dealers like that and clever hire experts like that are going, right, I'll place my order now. I've got these machines out for hire, but those two are nearly at a good point where I can get a good price for them. I'll put a sale up for those ads, but I won't sell them unless I get the price I want. And that's a really, really key and clever thing to do, I think.
Absolutely. So you're just covering both bases, and it gives you another arm to the business, Localization's becoming it has been for years, but it's a big thing. So people still want to be able to hire and sort of buy locally if possible. So the localization and machinery become, it's very important. I mean, for the farming guys, they've all got their boundaries of where they can sell and what have you. But there's so many people that when they're hiring, if you're down in Sydney, you can't hire on the other side of town, because by the time you pay all the tolls and the transport, it's just blowing it out ridiculously.
Yeah, that's right.
So you got to be able to cover your area. You've got to advertise where the users are, and they're all on these websites.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, you got to be able to cover your area really well, because otherwise you're just losing market share to someone who's just beside your area if they're actually advertising and marketing really well. So it's something to consider for the steel pushers. You gotta really understand the audience and the buyers that are in these pockets of this web world, in this mobile world. Because when you understand that, you can get one up on your competition and be ahead of the game and pick up your market share of that area.
Well, it's a whole new generation of buyer coming through now. When you've got a lot of the younger blokes as well, just starting businesses, they're actually being really smart about it. There's, of course, they'll go out and they'll buy their first couple of bits of kit, but when they start looking at growth, and they're going, okay, I want to shift from just digging holes or fence post holes or anything like that, and I want to move into maybe into road making or anything like that, rather than going out and forking out 50 grand, 100 grand, $250,000, $500,000 on a machine, they're hiring it. They're getting the job, hiring the machine they need, doing the job, seeing if it works out in their books, are they getting cash flow from it, and then maybe buying a machine later down the track if that side of the business picks up. That's smart as hell. I think that's so clever. But unfortunately for a lot of dealers, it means there is a lot less buying going on. But the change of shift there is, as well as we're seeing a massive difference in buyer behaviour for the time of year. Normally this time of year, Steve, we've seen it for the last couple of years. You've seen it for the last decade. Come November, December, things slow down, everybody goes into this lull. It's the exact opposite this year. Inquiries tripled almost. And then you see, and it's what I think, and I've had a lot of dealers, a lot of you guys out there, a lot of you steel pushers that have agreed with me going, I think something's coming in December. I think there's going to be a bit of a buyer frenzy in December to just avoid maybe and pick up a bit of cash before that January hit, when everybody's recovering from New Year's and they've spent all the Christmas money. I don't think we're going to see that lull we normally would through December.
Well, that changed in business, didn't it? You go back 15 years ago, and businesses just shut down.
Yeah.
It was shut down for, like, I remember my uncle had a building business in Auckland in New Zealand there, and 80 staff. They were just off from the 20th of December to about the 20th of January.
Yeah, it
was just shut the doors, bomb. We're out of it. They're all going fishing off to the holiday homes.
We run a skeleton crew.
Yeah, but in the past we would have had no one.
Yeah.
But now these businesses are still running a crew through it. A lot more business just carries on now. So, at the end of the day, it's not just that shut the doors, January, the wheels fall off and everyone's scrambling around to find some money to pay all their staff while they're on holiday. It's carrying on, and at the end of the day, the old grass still needs to be chopped, and the crops need to be chopped, and there's still machinery that is needed in operation, isn't it? So,
well, do you think in that case then, from a buyer's perspective, would it be worth it for a buyer over that period, if there's still so many companies running, still so many guys that are actually humming along, but they're still finding it hard to find the machine they're after because of the lack of used stock, or because of the lack of new stock and how long it's taken to get in the country. I mean, they might see, yep, cool, that guy can get me that machine, but it's going to take 2 months to get here, and I've got 4 jobs in January or 4 jobs in December. Do you think for a buy like that, it'd be worth even approaching the dealer they're buying it off to go, will you hire that machine out? Like,
That happens quite often.
yeah.
Especially when the delivery dates blow out. That happens quite often, where the company will have a loan machine on hire to them. That's quite normal. That's going on, but that's what's happening more of now.
Yeah.
See, dealers quite often now are not selling the machine that's sitting in front of them.
Yep.
They're selling the machine that's coming in 6 weeks or
Yeah,
8 weeks
that's
or
right.
12 weeks.
Welcome back, Steel Pushers. Good to have you with us. Remember, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share. We'd love to get out there to everyone that we can to help provide them with any of the information you guys might find valuable in this episode. And Steve, on that topic of hire versus sale and everything that we've been talking about so far, there's one common denominator that I know you're dying to talk about, and that's pricing.
Well, it's the in for sale. We've seen it over the years where so many steel pushers, you don't want to put the price on the actual advert. And we've been cracking on for over a year and a half now on this show.
I don't know how many times I've said it to dealers.
Every day, isn't it? There's the old age reason of like, I don't want to let my competition know how much I'm selling it for. But of course, then you're not letting the buyer know what he can buy it for. And nowadays, if you don't give the audience, the price, they'll just go elsewhere. More so and higher. So imagine yourself, imagine COVID's passed over and we're sitting up here in the Gold Coast and we've got to go down to Melbourne.
Right.
Imagine we went to a car hire website like Avis.
Yep.
And they didn't have prices. What the hell would we do? We would be just like, what is going on?
I'd ignore it. I'd flat out ignore it. I'm sorry, I'm not going to take... I mean, yes, it's an extra 2-3 clicks to get a price. But if a price is 1 click away from another guy, that's where I'm going. I'm not going to waste... It's the same idea behind when I say, okay, in your Google search results, and everybody's seen this, and I know that there's a lot of people out there that are the same as me. Steve, what do you do when you see the word ad next to a Google link?
Yeah.
I don't touch it.
Nah.
I ignore it. It's the same if I see an ad with no price, I'm not wasting time trying to chase a price.
So in the hire game, how many websites have we gone and looked through? Because we've been looking at a lot of the hire side of things in the websites to see if they got their prices in there. So many of them don't have it. They are losing so much business, especially when they go and run AdWords, bring people back into that website with no prices. That is just ridiculous. It's a cardinal sin, if you like. I get that there's flexible pricing. And if I'm going to have it for half a day, or I'm going to have it for a whole day, or I'm going to have it for 3 months, 6 months.
Long-term hire is cheaper, yeah.
But you got to put the daily amount in there, because you're going to get more leads off that if you don't have a price. You can still have in the thing there that contact us for great rates and longer term hire and all that type of stuff. I get it in the game. It is how long as a piece of string. Because this is the same in the finance game too, by the way. So when we put in our finance box on the advert page, when we put in a finance rate there, the conversion went up like 28%.
Yeah.
So it's the same on hire. If you don't have a price in it, the conversion you're not getting in your own website, and you're not getting it in these marketplaces. So it is a bloody must.
You will lose more than you'll lose more than you'll gain. I understand the mentality of, I need to hide my price because my competition will just undercut me, or something like that. And look, honestly, 5 minutes of Googling, most people can find a price for a single bit of kit, whether it is for hire or for sale. And we were talking just before where, look, in the buy game, POA and listing and people purchasing based on price isn't as, I suppose, rigid as it would be in the hire game. Just look, when you're purchasing, you're happy to pay a bit more for a better quality machine, that kind of thing. Understand that. And in the hire game, I just don't think they, from a buyer's perspective, when they're hiring, I just don't think they care as much. I don't think they do.
About what? Price?
Well, about price, because it's more about quality. Because if you're hiring a machine, it's not yours. You're not investing in it.
They want to know it's not going to break down, and the company they're hiring it from
Yeah.
has good servicing. They've got the machine up to a good standard. It's safe. It's, if I have a problem, that company's going to get back to them. So this is where all the company reviews come in.
Yeah.
This is where good customer service in the hire game. If you don't have that, you're going to get ripped to pieces. And there's steel pushers out there would already know that. So it is in machine quality of them knowing that the thing's not going to bloody break down on them.
Yeah.
If you go and hire something and the thing that breaks down and doesn't work and stuff, it's your worst nightmare.
Well, you'd be livid. Yeah.
Because you've just gone and got that machine for a specific job. So instead of hiding the price, you got to work on having good company reviews. You got to have good information in your ads. You got to have, a bit more about your company and how long you've been around, and you've got 15 service guys who could be out to deliver
from
for
a
you.
base level, from a basic level of going, I want to hire a mini digger. It's, look, I get that. That makes sense. So, but the first thing anyone looking to hire a machine is doing is going higher rate. I like that higher rate.
There's one before it. Will this machine do what I want it to do?
Yeah,
so they've got to
true.
find the right machine, the right
If
category.
they're looking for a digger or a loader or an
Of the right
excavator,
size, capacities, they'll get all that.
But when they've done that research,
Yeah.
the next deciding factor is the hire rate.
Yeah.
They then would go after, okay, what are the reviews like on the company? Is the machine in good quality? But that's all after
No.
how much.
After how much. Yeah, last bit to the jigsaw puzzle was the localization.
Yeah.
Is it in the area? So if you're not putting your rate on, you're missing the people in that area.
You'd be losing it to someone else in the area too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Yeah, no.
And they are. But they don't have the data like we do.
Yeah.
Our data shows us that because it's over such a bigger site with a lot more data, and we can see the trends. They will be missing out on higher jobs in that area just because they don't have the rate.
Yeah, you're right. Now, I'm saying because we're on that higher wagon,
Yeah.
but still, because we get so many buyers that are tossing up whether to hire or buy.
Yeah.
Something I'm seeing quite a bit of at the moment, and we're hearing about, is rent to buy.
Yeah.
The old rent it for this much per week for 5 years, pay $1 at the end, and it's yours.
Yeah.
there's a lot of companies doing that now.
Yeah.
Heaps of them.
There's big tax incentives and write-offs and stuff, isn't there?
True. There's
So
a
that
lot
side
of
of it.
paperwork. It's a lot of headaches,
yeah, but Daphne can cover that.
We've spoken about Daphne before. No, the rent to buy, I think that's smart, especially now. It's been around for ages. You guys have seen, I mean, you buy TVs, fridges, you do all that, but it's really prevalent in the machinery game. I think it's a really smart move.
Oh, it's all through the catering, isn't it?
Oh,
Big
yeah.
time. There's all these, young birds set up these cafes and bits and pieces, and they, mightn't have the money to set it all up, so they start it like that, and they're charging some pretty decent interest rates too, and there and amongst that, so it's a nice bit to the jigsaw puzzle.
Do you think the rent to buy thing would apply to the asset write-off as well? Because remember, that's extended into next year now.
Yeah. I mean, that's still swaying people to buy at the moment, isn't it? Buy the whole thing outright. Because if you're a good profitable business and you've had a good year, well, you're just going to go and buy all your assets now before it runs out. And there's plenty of dudes doing it.
I think it's what's feeding a lot of the research frenzy and buying frenzy we might see leading into December.
Yeah.
I think that's what's fueling it.
It'll be interesting, early next year they're going to bring back trade shows, field days as the country starts opening up. It's going to be interesting to see there what happens with, the full sales stuff, and then of course the hire stuff off the side of it as well. But are we going to still keep seeing these crazy numbers that we're seeing on the platform right now? And I'd suggest some people probably won't go back.
Yeah, I've been saying this for the last 3 months to the dealers I look after. We saw that coronavirus spike, that everyone was forced into doing things digitally if you wanted to hang on. But after seeing how easy it can actually be to do, it's sort of just plateaued out and stayed up there.
Yeah.
And I think there's a lot, and then you've got a lot of the younger generation of business owners. I think there's a lot of old school business owners who stepped back when this hit and went and let the younger blokes manage it because they were just better geared for it.
Yeah.
The older original owners or managers have stepped back, seen how successful it's been, and gone, you know what, I'm gonna let them take the reins on this and just do what I like doing, which I think all business owners should do. I know you. I know you for a fact. If you got the opportunity to go, I'm going to go jet skiing for 6 hours out of my 8 hours day, and know my company's running sweet, you take that shot.
Yeah, you got me thinking. Maybe that'll be early next year, mate. Mick Brown will be running the show. There you go.
Well, I think then there's what I think is what we're going to see a lot in the market in the near future is contractors actually starting to get machinery out because they had a big halt in work. Everybody stopped.
Some of them in certain areas, yeah.
And I think your smart ones, and this could be an idea for you guys, and you came up with this. And I think it's pretty clever. If you're hiring out inactive machinery, dry or wet if you feel like going out,
chucking an operator in it.
Yeah, but I think a contractor that's sort of normally, no, it's me, it's my machine, I'll go out and I'll do the work. But if you're not getting the work, why not hire out an inactive machine?
Well, that's what happened to the world of Airbnb, isn't it? It's extra capacity.
Cash flow.
Because how many holiday homes are people going once every 6 weeks? Once every 4 weeks, That's a lot of days something's sitting empty. And machinery's like that too. So there is already that, that's already going on in the industry. Where, some of these guys are, they might only be using the machine a day a week, or the other 3 or 4 days they're starting to hire it out too. So, yeah, interesting.
Well, guys, look, it's been awesome having you guys again. It's been great being back on the show. Remember to hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and share the episode to anyone you know in the industry, anyone that's in machinery or capital equipment. I hope we've helped. I hope there's a couple of ideas that we've maybe come across. You might already be doing it, and if you know someone else that might need the help, mate, pass on the knowledge, because it's only going to help the economy. It's going to help the industry. It's going to help capital equipment and machinery as a whole in Australia. So remember, guys, we're always here to help you guys get as many ideas as you can to get through all of this. Here at Machines for You, we're all really big on thinking outside the box. So I hope we've helped some way.
All right. Over here, we buy better.
Sell faster. Take care, steel pushers.
See you guys.